Hi, for those of you who are new here, my name is Josh and I'm from the Good Brothers Trading Academy. And today we are going to go over my top 5 picks for the month of November and my thoughts on the market. Okay, let's go over the market real fast before we moving on to the top 5. So let's go to the monthly, or first let's go to let's go to the monthly chart. We're going to check that out. I brought this up at the beginning of October that if we started getting rejections in these zones here, we do have like this reversal candle pattern on the monthly chart. Now, what we're doing is we want to see the rejections. That way we could get short bias because the way the candle pattern, these two candles kind of formed, okay? It just gives us an idea of our bias for the long term. Now we are coming down into this area. What I want to be paying attention to, and I won't take too much time, but that 320 area I see buyers coming in at. So I'm going to go ahead and put up my buy area or buy zone into 320 to 322.80ish or 323. This is where I see that there will be more buyers that step into the market. Okay, so this is the area that I will be paying attention to. This is a weekly time frame. This is where I see the breakout happening, the retest come back. We should find some more buyers in here. And so when we're looking on our smaller time frames, we're still a little ways away from this area, but we could see possibly if we start getting some like a curve bottom, double bottoms, something like that, an oversold pattern, then we could be a buyer for the short term being. We're still on an uptrend depending on how you want to look at it, but we do have some monthly reversal candles. So let's get into some of these other time frames that I'm interested, or these other stocks that I'm interested in. GLPI is one of them. Let's check out the weekly time frame. What I like about GLPI is we have our recovery pattern, right? Our V shape. So we come down, we get a sharp move higher, we get the consolidation, we get our move up, and now we're in consolidation station again. So we're just paying attention to this level. I do like it up to $42. So if we can break out, especially if we get some type of good news. Now the game stocks have been good. Anytime we get any kind of news that comes out on coronavirus, people tend to stay in their homes, obviously, and the gaming stocks do pretty well. And at this point, this is a pattern I can get behind and I like. Okay, so let's do a couple things. Let's put in our Fibonacci retracement. Let's just find the 50% off this power candle right here to here. This just gives us an idea where our levels are at. So let's put in our 50%. Now I usually put in my 50% and I make that, if you guys have been following me, I'm going to go ahead and make that pink. That way it stands out on the chart for me quite well and it's very distinctive, and I know that that is the level that I am bullish above, bearish below on. Okay, so let's go to a smaller time frame and we'll check it out. So right now this is where we're at. And the way I would play the rest, now we're just, as I said, in quite a consolidation for quite some time now. So let's put in where we see buyers and sellers coming into this stock. So we have some buyers stepping in here. Nice. We'll make this a different color. Every other line I pretty much do like a gray. So we have an idea. Let's put our zone in. This is what we'll be keeping an eye on. There we go. This is our 50%, so we know that in here, there looks like there's definitely some supply in this area, but knowing that this is our 50% zone, this will give us an idea of where the stock needs to get over, what kind of patterns it needs to get over. We're going to be paying attention up here. So there is supply. Look how it just sold off hard today. So we want to see it hold this level. We want to see maybe consolidate. Look at the same pattern. It gets a push down, a small consolidation and up, and then a consolidation sideways, and then a move higher. Now we don't want to overlook 39 bucks. There's some supply in here. Now when I get into position, I just let it kind of ride. I'll milk it as long as I can using the hourly candlesticks to tell me when to get out of the trade or when it's going to fail. And that is the way we play. I generally get in based on the 3-hour time frame patterns though. And then we have 42. We have something here. that down, and then we'll chase it up to the highs. I shouldn't have used that term chase. We don't chase, right? So 42 bucks. So these are the levels I'll be paying attention to. Again, bullish above, bearish beneath, and we will go from there. Now, AMD is the next one on the list. AMD, we've been watching for a while. What I like is if we go to the 3-hour time frame, we get this nice horizontal pattern. I love horizontal patterns. We know where buyers are coming in. It looks like buyers are coming in again today. And what I would like to see is some type of this blue zone here is going to tell me maybe it gets rejected. We find ourselves a double bottom, or maybe we get a consolidation. And if we get a spike up, we can start being buyers, dip buyers on this on the 3-hour time frame. Now, the 1-hour time frame looks like it's building some type of a flag pattern, so that's good. But I want to make sure where we get the confirmation on the bigger time frame that it's heading up. Now, the thing that I like is the weekly chart. Now, we had this drawn in way ahead of time. We were watching this indecision bar. I already have a YouTube video on this and breaking down this ticker. So now it's just doing what we want it to do. We got a rejection at the 50%. We saw lower prices. Now buyers are stepping in. So we would be waiting to watch to see where this next candle closes today. We'll break it down the same way we usually do, figure out where we're bullish above, bearish beneath, and we will move on. But these are the main areas. So we're finding buyers where we need to. One thing that I like to do is when we break them down into zones and we're finding these rejections in these buy zones, I say this over and over. The reason why I do it this way is so it confirms to me that my bias is correct. If I find buyers at 75 bucks and that's where I thought buyers were going to come, don't you think that helps build confidence when I'm taking a trade? So I can go, look, I understand that there's buyers here. There's this pattern forming around this $78. Now I know potentially, or I get more confidence behind the trade knowing that I've been right several times already. And so it helps me be able to take a little bigger position, scale my sizing, etc., etc. Now the next stock is Guild. So GILD, and what I'm looking for is we are completely and utterly oversold. Let's go to, this is the weekly time frame. So right now we broke this other demand zone area. And I'm not going to break down this chart too crazy, but what I want to see is we go, okay, this is where we had some clear buyers in prior, right? So we want to pay attention to this area. If we look on a monthly time frame, for example, we're just barely breaking through. Now we're at the end of the month and it's a strong candle. So doesn't it make sense if we start getting a rejection in here and it continues to sell, we can be short bias? Probably wouldn't be. What I'm waiting for is a recapture. I want to see something that looks similar to this, and this would help confirm my bias. I want to see a candle come up and close. If we can close up here, that is terrific. If we close down here and it's still 50% up the candle, that's fine. We can maybe get some type of a consolidation or another candle pattern, something like this, and then we can wait for it to go ahead and take a move to the upside. But what I would really like to do is just see the original. I want to see a recapture. I want to see a big reversal pattern. Then I could be a dip buyer down here. I could be a buyer right here, or I could be a breakout trader right here. And my what I'm wanting to see it is I'm wanting to see it into this supply zone at the top. I'd be watching it around this. So 80 to 85 bucks. That's where I'd like to see Guild get up to again. So we'll be watching these lower time frames once again, checking on the 3-hour time frame. What I would be watching is for some sort of higher highs being, or excuse me, higher lows being put in. So we're quite bearish right now. I want to see this. I want to see some kind of a curve pattern. I want to see some kind of come down, make a bottom, come up, maybe another bottom put in right here. So I get this higher low setup, and then we could be watching for maybe some type of a flag pattern right here, and then a move higher, right? So we have this resistance level here. Let's erase, make it a little more simple. We have some clear sellers, some clear buyers, some clear arguing. What in the world? We have some clear sellers and buyers in this zone right here. So we would be waiting for a rejection, maybe, like I said, a higher low, a consolidation, and then start making our move higher, just like that, okay? Now let's go on to Fiverr. Fiverr, breaking down the weekly chart. Once again, we are just on a sweet uptrend, getting a reversal candle almost on a close on the weekly. So that's what I'm paying attention to. But this is a reversal pattern, right? So if we go to even the bigger time frame, we are getting quite the exhaustion bar coming down. So a lot of selling pressure. We're under 50% of the original range on this candle. That tells me that we could possibly be, unless we reclaim 50%. So let's do this so we can get an idea of how I break down charts. Everybody does things a little different, but the way I do it is I find the 50%. Finding the 50%, it makes sense because if buyers are above the 50% level, and again, I make this pink, so I do not mistake in it. Then on the smaller time frames, here's the weekly chart. So we want to see Fiverr get over 162.50. If it gets over 162.50, which right now we can kind of look at the smaller time frame, look at this big exhaustion bar put on the daily chart. So we are fighting the 50% on the daily chart now, and we're staying above. This is not a reversal pattern yet. If we close at the high, especially if we get some sort of consolidation above or below 159, then we can be bullish, and that's what I would be expecting. Bullish, and then here is supply in this stock here, and there are clear sellers into this zone, which makes a whole lot of sense. So we'll make sure we put our sell order in here. So we are definitely at a low. Let's put another. Now we could break this zone down into much smaller zones. So if we drop it down to a 3-hour time frame, this is where we're at. And the way I would do this. So the 50% level is kind of screwing it up. So what I would do. What I am going to do, this is where I see buyers in at. But this is critical. This is the 50%. So we know that we're fighting this, but we're seeing buying pressure coming up here. So I'd like to see, we got the reversal, we got the sell-off. We're getting more buyers stepping in, which is great. And we'll just pay attention in this zone, pay attention to the 161 or 162 level. And then we could have a nice, very nice trade coming up. There's a lot of void in this area. We got this big breakdown candle. There is a little bit of a struggle. I would say that there's probably something right here. Let's make this zone blue. So I'd be paying attention to this area. This is something that maybe intraday we will get hung up on. And we definitely want to be aware of this level because there are some buyers or sellers there in this area. Okay. And then last but not least, always checking into stuff, obviously, is I understand Facebook. Now, Facebook has earnings after market, but I like the pattern. If it goes back and forth, we'll see what happens on Facebook, but I am bullish on Facebook. Here is the weekly chart. What I like about it is we had this nice, strong push up. We have this consolidation, another push higher, and then we had this pullback. Now, this big candle here is telling me that there is a lot of buyers in the market. When we sold off, we just found more buyers. So depending on where this candle closes this week, if it's above the 50%, I am good. If it's above the 50%, we could still be looking at getting short through the 281.50. I would be more or less just watching the stock, not really trading this. I want to see it actually continue higher. I'm not interested if it continues to sell off. And especially if we can find those buyers in and around $320 on the SPY or 3,200, right? The 3,200 level. So that would be Facebook. Let's pay attention to, let's get on the 3-hour time frame. So we have definitely some back and forth action. We get this nice recovery, big 3-hour candlestick pattern put in. I was watching it this morning. I did not take the trade. However, I did like it. And let's go to even a smaller time frame. So that is what we'll be looking at. But anyway, needless to say, these are my top 5 for the month of November. Let me know in the comments below what you're looking at. I would love to break down more tickers for you. Give me a thumbs up on the video and make sure you share it if you found this information useful. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video.